Please don't be extra chunky today. Oh, I can't lift it very far. Breakfast. I have beet spread that I made and some feta on a piece of toast. I am not awake yet. I'm not awake. You see, I wanted just normal coffee with like some creamer in it. But I was like, no, just make coffee and then dump it in with your vanilla flavored Huel and have your protein shake, and you'll be happier that way, and you'll be fuller, and you'll make it through the day, and you'll feel a lot better. And now I'm staring at this rim. Look at it. Look at it. No. Yesterday, I had an existential life crisis, and it caused me to go full avoidant on like anything that could be considered a responsibility. So I spent most of the day at the mall with a friend who like spontaneously invited me out, and then afterwards I was absolutely drained and I took a nap, and then I played Deep Rock Galactic with a friend for a very long time, trying to get the Christmas stuff, because I don't know, something just about that is very driving to me. Limited time events. And then I decided that I was feeling better, so I was gonna just like, let's take that good mental health work that we've been working on and just like, let's just take that and throw it in the trash. It's so thick. It's so well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to drink all that today. 2 scoops was too many. What are we doing? I don't know if I've included, I should go to my channel. I'm sitting at my computer. I don't know if I've included anything about like where I've come from or anything like that. And I'm trying not to be a trash human being, if that makes sense. I worked in food management for, I'm sorry, let's back this up. So when I was 20, I got a job in fast food. And I just needed a job. I had a friend who worked there. She was in management. I got an entry-level position. I really liked the manager that I worked for there. And I worked there for almost a year, but the commute was way too far. And they had a location much closer to where I lived, but this was a franchise. I transferred, I quit, and I went to another franchise. And then a few months later, that other franchise, my original franchise, called me back and offered me a position in management at a sister store that was closer to home. Awesome. I was like, I don't think I'm qualified for this. And it's like, oh, you'll do fine. So, okay. Hop, skip, and a jump away. I'm now commuting like 15, 20 minutes to work instead of like 30 to 40. I'm also making more money. The manager at the store's not as fun to work with. He's not as fun to deal with. It's whatever. I am his primary assistant for, oh man, I want to say 3 years. No, it's more like 6, I think. I don't know when I took over. Let's see if I can fact check that too. Go to my own profile. Because I still haven't said that I've quit. Okay, that lines up for my mental timeline. In 2014, I took over as the general manager. It was an experience. There is some stuff happening out there that I'm not in control of and cannot be placed in control of, so we're just gonna let that go. Thinking. 2014, I became the GM of that location. I saw that location through some pretty good and bad times. And it has seen substantial growth under my leadership. The entire company has seen substantial growth. I think that's just because of the market and the day and age that we live in, but I definitely think that I attributed to and facilitated a lot of that growth. I did a lot of things. I did a lot of things. I have really good customer service skills. With that in mind, let's see, what did I do? I quit. Oh yeah, I quit. I got really upset. And the burnout had been real for a while. And like, my boss had been really good about trying to like help with the burnout, but it came down to a point to where like, I don't want to air like all of my dirty laundry, especially because I need to find a new job. But, like, there was a decision that had been made that directly impeded my ability to do my job in such a way to where it had made me entirely ineffective at the position. This did involve some of my boss's adult children that I were directly responsible for, and it didn't sit well with me, and I didn't see any sort of resolution coming from the issue. And combine that with just how burnt out I was and the challenges that I was going to be facing in the like immediate future, like to where the holiday season was coming up. I was already kind of shorthanded. I was like, I had made a decision that was one of my responsibilities, and then someone came along behind me and superseded that, and I don't feel like it was done in a good way. And so after 13 years with this company, so I quit. No plan, no nothing, couldn't do it. And the reaction to me quitting my job has been very not mixed. Most of the people in my immediate vicinity are very happy for me. which is not a good sign. That means that something in that situation wasn't healthy and wasn't working right. It was either me or it was like some sort of, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared, like, I live in America and it's 2022 and it's about to be 2023 and interest rates are high and our economy is kind of trash for a lot of people, and politics are kind of trash for a lot of people, and if we're gonna, I was the breadwinner for the family. Like, it's just me and my husband and my dog, but and my husband works, but he didn't pull in the income that I did. He did not. I pulled in our standard of living was based off of my job. And I need to find more work. So here's kind of where the problem is. I have some college in an art degree, not graphics art, traditional art, Bachelor of Fine Art, emphasis in paint, and not enough to matter. Not enough credit hours to matter. Guess who, like, goofed off during college and didn't take it seriously and thought she was taking, I don't know, we're not gonna go back there. So I have no formal degree. I don't have enough credits for even associate. Despite probably going for, like, the credits don't work. I just cherry picked credits, but not enough to get an associate. I have no formal training. Like, I have no formal training. The job that I worked in didn't really do that. The only, like, real, like, hardcore certificate that I sort of have is I was ServSafe certified, and now I need to retake my test. If you don't know what that means that I am certified to not poison you with food if I try even a little bit. Like, ServSafe is super easy. All in all, I've got 12 years of managerial experience. I've got 4 years as an assistant manager, and I've got 8 years as a general manager. And the amount of things that I had to learn and that I had to do and that I had to complete as a general manager were far and wide. Like, I was responsible for hiring, training, onboarding. I was in charge of facilitating building maintenance, either by performing the maintenance myself or by hiring, by finding, organizing, and hiring a professional to come out and maintain equipment. I was responsible for inventory and product management, product image, customer service, brand image in some aspects. I mean, there was a book, like, you knew exactly what was responsible for you, but I had to, like, enforce and maintain. I was responsible for ordering uniforms. I was responsible for enforcing uniforms. I was responsible for my own accreditation, so making sure that I was ServSafe and making sure that I had someone that was ServSafe certified. I was responsible for passing internal inspections and external inspections, things like the health department and then a third-party company called Ecolab. What else did I do? Like, and I mean, I just made the product. Like, I made the product, I made a cleaning schedule, I made the schedule. I did so many things, and they were all trial by error. Like, no one really showed me how to do that. I just kind of had to sit down and figure it out. If I needed supplemental information, I had to find it myself. I did learn how to read a P&L. The only thing that didn't really happen is, like, I didn't have a budget. But I asked for one. Like, I asked for an employee budget. I didn't get it. I got told that it was okay, just do what I wanted within reason, but like the whole point of the budget is to give me the reason and to know in concrete, explicit terms, like this is where the line is, this is how much money you can spend, and don't go over it. So I got on Indeed last night, and my imposter syndrome kicked in super hardcore because I want to go right back into management. Like, that's what I want to do. I don't want my standard of living to change, but I don't want to go back into food management. I don't really want to go back into hospitality either. I really want to go back into management, mostly because I want to maintain the standard of living, and it's what I'm most comfortable doing. It's the thing that I have the most experience in. So I was looking at dark mode. I was looking on Indeed at jobs and management, and not starting with remote, but I really would like to have remote work. I would really like to be an entrepreneur and start my own business, but I don't see that happening for a while. Jesus. This is just gonna go for the whole time. And if I went upstairs, it would just get worse. Holy moly. I got on Indeed last night. I started looking at management stuff in my area, and I had like a total freak out. And that's because I also have imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, for anyone who doesn't know, is a internal psychological experience of feeling like a phony in some areas in your life despite any success that you have achieved in that area. So if you're consistently experiencing self-doubt, even in areas where you typically excel, then imposter syndrome is probably your dude. And it manifests as self-talk, negative self-talk a lot. Symptoms of anxiety and depression often accompany imposter syndrome. I'm getting all of my info on this from Very Well Mind. I live with this, but I don't feel qualified to speak about the thing that I live with. Ooh. So it's not a diagnosable mental illness. It's a term that is usually narrowly applied to intelligence and achievement, although it has links to perfectionism and the social context. Fun fact, it was termed in the 1970s. So let's talk about, let's talk about the characteristics of it. Some common characteristics are an inability to Some characteristics are an inability to realistically assess your competence and skills, attributing your success to external factors, berating your performance, fear that you won't live up to expectations, overachieving, sabotaging your own success, self-doubt, setting very challenging goals and feeling disappointed when you fall short. Imposter syndrome can fuel motivation to achieve, but this usually comes at the cost of experiencing constant anxiety. You might over-prepare or work much harder than necessary to make sure that nobody finds out that you're a fraud. And then eventually, you know, anxiety does what it does. Like, oh my God, anxiety is like rubbing the same spot of skin. Like, a little bit of rubbing isn't going to bother you, but after a large portion of time, like, that skin is going to chafe and it's going to be uncomfortable, and eventually you'll get through, you won't have skin left. You have a big open wound where the anxiety has just touched you in that spot for too long. Imposter syndrome makes, well, again, not a mental illness, but a characteristic. Imposter syndrome makes you do some crazy shit. Like, imposter syndrome makes you do some crazy shit. Like, you do shit like memorize stuff about people, or you never let details go because you need to impress that person. And if you've impressed them once, then you have to maintain that level. Like, you have to always be up and ready to go and on top of things. You need to be prepared, and you always need to look good, and you can't just look good. You have got to nail it. If you're going out with someone, and I mean going just anywhere, you will agonize over the outfit that you're going to wear because you need to get the mood perfect. You can't underdo it, and you can't overdo it. For some people, dressing up just means dressing all the way up, and if you're underdressed, that's your problem. But the fun thing about me is if I didn't get it right, then I'm wrong. If I'm not on the mark, then I'm off the mark, right? So if I went too high, then I failed. If I went too low, then I failed. On things that don't matter. They don't matter. Why do you think it matters? It doesn't. No one cares how you dressed. It was a work meeting, and the other people at the meeting were in gym shorts. Why did you try this hard? But you didn't try too hard. Or at least you wanted to make it look like you didn't try too hard. Otherwise, like, you spent your entire morning working on this. You over-fixated. Why do you do this? And the big problem is that it doesn't matter how well you're doing at something. It will not change your beliefs. It doesn't matter that you did a good job that time. That was luck. You are still a fraud. And you are a fraud that just got lucky. It robs you of your seat at the table. Maybe I need real coffee. Maybe that's what I just spent a good portion of time talking to you guys about how I feel like an imposter and how I feel unworthy and how I have generalized anxiety disorder. And you know what I just said to you? I said, you know what I need is coffee. I need caffeine. One of the worst possible things for my anxiety disorder is to give it more energy to obsess and focus on the things that I think are wrong. It's not going to motivate me to get up and do anything about it. It's going to let me sit and continue to ruminate. Like, once Vlogmas is over, I need to figure out, like, what consistent content for me looks like. What do I want to put on here? Is it just going to be me rambling? I don't think it's fair to watch me clean my kitchen a million times. Like, it's one thing to have a routine of being like, clean with me, do my routine. As I maybe, like, do a voiceover and talk about whatever the fuck's going on. But, I definitely have some projects that I want to do, that I want to knock out. Like, I want to redo my office a little bit, then just, like, clean things up and maybe invest in some better storage elements, or just, like, go through and get rid of things. I want to finish working on my kitchen. That's my two-toned cabinets are not a look. I want to, what do I want to do? I want to build a new bar. So I kind of want to do some, like, weird buildy craft things. I want to, first and foremost, I just want to vlog. Like, I just want to show everyone what's going on in my life. I just want to document what's happening in this existence, in this moment. Look at my plant. I've kept that plant alive for a whole year. Wow, look at me go. I've done it. It's a pothos. I hear they're notoriously hard to kill, but I've done it. And I mean, I haven't killed the pothos. I actually need to trim some of that down. This is getting kind of long. Oh, look at my shoes. Look at my shoes. Aren't they cute? Why do I have shoe storage under a pothos plant in my office? My office is so tiny. My office is incredibly small and is actually the walk-through to the bedroom. Maybe we need to do like a home tour. Like when I get the place cleaned up, we need to like look at what this existence is of mine. We live in a... What? Okay. Ramble. What do I need to do today? I need to clean. I found out yesterday that I am bringing food to a Christmas event, so that means that I now need to cook food. I still need to get one Christmas present. There was a person I forgot, and I feel like a jackass. And I think I just really want to do like a big cleaning marathon. I think that's what's going to help me the best. We're just going to obsess and just clean a whole bunch of crap. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Just trust me. Just trust me. It's going to be great.